I rise to speak today to call attention to my home state of North Dakota, where we have terrible flooding occurring. We have flooding today on the Souris River, and the community of Minot is now in process of evacuating more than 11,000 people from their homes. In truth, we've had tremendous challenges with flooding all spring throughout the state of North Dakota. Red River Valley, the Cheyenne River Valley, James River Valley around Devil's Lake, the Missouri River, Bismarck-Mandan area, up and down the Missouri, other points throughout western North Dakota, and today it's in north-central North Dakota. The Souris River is flooding not only the community of Minot, but also communities upstream to the north, small communities, counties, rural areas, and downstream as well, creating real hardship for our citizens. And so, even as I speak, more than 11,000 people are leaving their homes in and around the community of Minot. The Minot community is about something over 40,000 people, so somewhere between a third and a fourth of our citizens in that community in the region are being displaced from their homes and their businesses. And our thoughts and our prayers go out to all of them. And at the same time, we must do all we can to help them, both now and at this time of need, but also in the days coming as we go forward. Minot and the region have been in this flood fight for some time. In fact, together with the Corps of Engineers, with the National Guard, with local contractors, with the local officials, state support, the federal agencies, Corps of Engineers, the citizens have been fighting a battle against flooding for months this spring. And they've built up their defenses. They've built levees along the river, the Souris River, that flows through the Minot community and through the region. They built those levees up to an elevation of 1556. So they've built levees and dikes along the river. And in addition, years ago, the community, in fact, levied a sales tax on itself to help build dams in Canada, Rafferty Dam and Alameda Dam, to try to have permanent flood control in place. So this is a community, and this is a region of our state that has worked very hard using its own local dollars, along with state and federal sources, to build permanent flood protection, dams in Canada, as well as levees along the river. Those defenses have stood for more than 30 years and protected the community in the region from flooding. But this time, they're not enough. As I say, the elevation is about 1556 on those levees along the river, and it looks like the crest will be 1563, 7 to maybe 10 feet higher than the levees provide defense. And so that means that people have to leave their homes and their businesses and their property. Ironically, just 3 weeks ago, with the projections that we had at that time, roughly 10,000 to 11,000 people were forced to leave their homes at that time. But fortunately, the crest came in lower than was projected, and with the work they were able to do on the levees, raising the levees yet again, they were able to keep the water within the banks of the Souris River. And so people were able to return to their homes, and their property was not damaged. But unfortunately, that is not the case now, and already the water is rising to the very tops of the levees. And as I say, the crest is projected to be well above those levees. So the first priority must be to keep people safe, protect lives, protect people. And the Mayor Zimbelman, is working with local officials, and our Governor Jack Dalrymple. The National Guard is there. On the order of 500 National Guardsmen are helping with this evacuation process. Local law enforcement, fire emergency responders, they're all engaged, and we truly appreciate their help and their efforts. Minot Air Force Base, a major Air Force base for our nation, is located right near the community. I think there are on the order of 12,000 or more people that live at that Air Force base. Some of the airmen and women that are stationed at that base, of course, live in the community, and those men and women of the Air Force are helping the community. My Air Force base is providing a place for shelter for our citizens and providing help. And I've spoken with the Air Force officials, and we truly appreciate their help with manpower, with transportation, and with shelter. Also, Minot State University, a local university, is providing shelter for people that need it in the community, and we have the relief organizations there as well, the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, and others. And of course, in addition to all of that, we have citizens helping each other, and that is truly the North Dakota way, and they're doing a fine job. As a matter of fact, in the recent evacuation that I mentioned just several weeks ago, even though more than 10,000 people were evacuated, very few ended up staying in the shelters because friends and family, caring people in the community and in the region provided a place for so many to stay. And of course, we know that that will happen again as people open up their homes to help others in a time of need. But clearly more help will be needed, and help with recovery will be needed as well. And so that means Homeland Security, that means FEMA, that means the other federal agencies as well. Many homes and many businesses will be flooded, and those homes and businesses will be likely in floodwaters until into July. And so that assistance will be very much needed, very much required. So that means programs like public assistance and individual assistance through FEMA to help with public infrastructure that's damaged, to help individual homeowners with damage to their homes will be necessary, along with flood insurance, SBA disaster assistance for businesses, because this flood is right through the very central part of the community, so it affects not just homes and property, but many businesses as well. And of course, it will affect public infrastructure. To that end, I'm already meeting with the director of FEMA, Craig Fugate, this afternoon, and we must be committed to that process to help all we can, both in this flood fight and in the ensuing recovery. You know, it's been a real challenge this year as you look around the country. As you look around our state, the flooding that I described, not just here in Minot, but throughout our state, and as you look around the country with flooding up and down the Missouri, up and down the Mississippi, and you look at the tornadoes, and you look at now the fires that are occurring in the Southwest. And this really has been a tough year. It's a challenging year. And so we need to pull together, and we need to help each other. And I know we will, because that's the American way. That's the way we've always done it. And I know that we'll be there to help each other, to help our citizens in Minot, in the Minot region, throughout the state of North Dakota, but in other places around the country as well. As I say, that's the American way, and we will prevail in this endeavor. I thank you, Mr. President, for the time. At this time, I yield the floor. Also, I note the absence of a quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Akaka.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd ask unanimous consent that the quorum call be lifted.
Without objection, the senator from Wyoming is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I know the issue before us is to change the way that nominations are handled a little bit. I wanted to express my appreciation for that act and ask my colleagues to support it. A number of the nominations come through the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. I've been the chairman of that committee. I'm now the ranking member of that committee. I've had times that 350 appointments have come through at one time, none of which are accompanied by any paperwork. So there's really no way to check on any of them, and they're at such a level that there hasn't been much interest in checking on any of them anyway. So it's kind of a waste of time to have to take that through a committee process and then through a floor process. This bill would eliminate that need and would do that to a number of other offices. But a really important part is there is a provision in here that if there is anybody, even one of those 350 that we have no information on, that somebody wants to go through the regular order, there's the ability for them to ask for it to go through the regular order. So nobody's getting a free ride in this bill. Anybody that has a concern over anybody that the President appoints has the leverage to be able to take a look at that person and to voice their comments and to have it considered in the regular order. So I don't see any damage done to our system, and I do see a great capability for us to be more productive. And that's what I'd like to see. And so I'd ask everybody to support the bill. I yield the floor and suggest the absence of a quorum.
The clerk will call the roll of the Senate.
Mr. Akaka?